Some stories just need to be told, and the OK Theater holds 100 years of stories.
It has offered entertainment and escape, transporting people to worlds different than their own, to another time and another place, through movies, concerts, and events.
The history of the OK Theater dates back to July of 1918, when Mr. Hackbarth revealed his plan to construct a modern movie house.
It was to contain a sloping floor which would provide excellent viewing from any seat in the building. When John Oberg, the builder of the Enterprise City Library, was to be the carpenter, while Sam Haworth was to complete the concrete portion of the structure.
J.A. Van Wee, as the manager of the OK Theater, and Enterprise informed the public that the seats were being shipped from Chicago. The construction was completed by December of 1918, though the theater opening was delayed due to an influenza pandemic that swept through the country. Along with the illness came a ban on public gatherings.
When the quarantine was lifted, the OK Theater opened on January 25, 1919, under the advice of Dr. Charles Alt. Patrons were required to sit with an empty seat between them to limit exposure to the dreaded flu.
Shows were set for 7:15 p.m. and 9 p.m. every night of the week except Sunday. The ticket price was 15 cents for children and 25 cents for adults. Much to the delight of the audiences, silent films led to synchronized sound. In September of 1929, the talking picture of Street Girl was welcomed by a full house of spectators in the OK Theater.
According to the chieftain, music is reproduced beautifully and the spoken word can generally be distinguished. The theater continued to be a gathering place for the community to socialize, enjoy refreshments, and view the latest movies.
Some of the features were, from the 20s, Charlie Chaplin, and from the 30s, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. In the late 30s, moviegoers enjoyed cinematic color through such blockbusters as The Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind. Sound and color improved as technology progressed. In the 1970s, some movies focused on an earlier era.
The OK Theater, after being sold to the Stockdale family, was actually renamed the Vista Theater in 1933 and continued to entertain residents through the decades. In the early 80s, the building was sold to Russell Ford, who restored its original name, the OK Theater. Then in 2001, the theater was sold to Dave and Lorri Brann. However, in 2008, nearly 90 years since its construction, the theater was closed.
Finally, in 2009, Bill and Melissa Bush bought the business. They expanded its use to include such events as fundraisers, plays, and concerts. Once again, the OK Theater was sold in 2013 to Daryl and Christy Brann.
Their vision was to continue to offer musical events at the venue, along with grants and generous donors, to restore the OK Theater.
Restore the OK Theater!
It is being renovated to reflect its original glory of yesteryear within the story continuing into the next century. Meet you at the movies!
Let's go to the movies!
It all began earlier that day. The short elves were running from the giant walking trees. The snow was so bad and the winter was so long. It began burying houses throughout town, so all the elves in the magical winter wonderland had to flee from the town on their unicorns. Wakaga, said the smallest elf named Leroy, we must hurry because the giant trees are throwing powerful pine cones of Pacific Forest popcorn. So the flying unicorns took the elves to the Bahamas, where the snow could never reach them.